The screen flickers in the dark, a faint glow pulling at the edges of silence. Fingers hover, poised to check again. A name, a message, a number that won't shift. The motion is automatic. No thought, only reflex. Night after night, the same quiet act, carving a groove deeper into the mind. You know the answer lies still, unchanging. Yet, the hand moves. Why does it feel like truth lives in that tap? What makes pain feel like certainty when you trace the same dead end? The urge to know, to confirm, to hold tight. It's not a search. It's a loop, a trap you reset with each glance. You think the screen will speak, will close the wound. But each click delivers numbness, a hollow echo of what you seek. The pull isn't clarity. It's clinging to a shadow that doesn't answer. Does the screen hold truth, or just your own hand, moving without command? The cost isn't in the moment, it's in the quiet that follows. Each check steals something unseen, a fragment of self-command, slipping like sand through open fingers. The weight in your chest grows heavier, not from what's gone, but from what you keep doing to yourself. The system frays, not in their silence, but in your choice to keep knocking. No one sees the erosion, but you feel it. A pulse behind the ribs, a quiet ache that names itself loss. Epictetus said, "You are not disturbed by things, but by the views you take of them." The screen doesn't pull, your choice does. Each tap, a vote to stay trapped. Each pause, a crack in the loop. The reflex to check isn't hunger for answers. It's a surrender to noise. What would shift if you let the screen stay dark? The rules ahead don't chase what's lost. They end the need to look. When you check again, are you choosing or just obeying? The same urge, the same pain, the same void. What remains if you stop? The question hums, unanswered, unanswerable. The screen holds no secrets, only your own gaze, reflected back. The rules that follow, they don't promise closure. They build a system to walk away from the need to ask. Rules exist to stop the loop before it starts. You hold on to a message, a memory, a number. It feels like strength, like keeping a fire alive. The tighter the grip, the more it seems to matter. You tell yourself, this is control. This is proof you care. That pain holds value. But what does it keep? The name doesn't speak. The memory doesn't shift. The number doesn't climb. Each moment you cling, you don't preserve what's gone. You lose what's here. Check. Wait. Hurt. Repeat. The loop doesn't protect, it binds. Each second spent gripping pulls you from awareness. The weight isn't in the loss. It's in the refusal to let go. The screen, the thought, the name, they don't hold you. Your hand does. Your choice to keep the chain tight. The reflex feels like loyalty, but it's a cage. Not for them, for you. What's preserved? By clutching what's dead. You think attachment saves, but it traps. Each moment spent chasing is a moment stolen from stillness. The cost isn't what you lost, it's what you're losing now. Breath, ground, the chance to see what's right in front of you. The system breaks when you choose a shadow over the present. The pain isn't their absence, it's your hand, still closed, still waiting. What stays when you open your hand? Nothing and everything. The rules ahead don't rebuild what was, they clear what is. They don't promise answers, they end the need to seek them. The quiet that follows isn't defeat, it's where you begin to see. Rule 1. Stop explaining to those who don't ask. The urge surges to justify, to clarify, to make them see. Fingers race across the screen, words spilling faster than thought. Why you stayed, why you fought, why it mattered. The message sits, unsent, unanswered. No one asked. You speak into a void, expecting it to echo back. Explaining feels like control, like stitching a wound shut. But each word you send tears it wider. Not in their mind, in yours. The reflex runs deep, rooted in years of trying to be seen. You learned early. If you could just say it right, they'd understand. If you could lay out the logic, the pain, the reason, they'd stay. Or at least look back. But they don't. They scroll past. They vanish. And you're left. Not with their silence, but with your own voice, thrown into the dark. Each explanation, a piece of self-command you gave away. For nothing. The weight settles. Heavy. Unseen. What does it cost? Not their reply. Your awareness. Each time you explain, you chase a shadow, thinking it's light. You think it's about them, but it's you, proving something to no one. The shame isn't in their rejection. It's in the mirror, seeing you beg for what was never owed. The system breaks. Not when they leave, but when you keep talking. When you trade your ground for their glance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Their silence isn't your puzzle to solve. Your words don't owe them clarity. Stop. Say less. Let the urge rise. Feel it burn, and let it pass. Hold the line. The reflex to explain is a trap. Disengage. Watch the impulse. Don't feed it. The quiet that follows isn't defeat. It's where you rebuild. Where you hold what matters yourself. You don't need their nod to know your worth. You don't need their answer to close the loop. Each word you don't send builds a rule that doesn't bend. Silence isn't surrender. The pause lingers. A moment where the reflex fades. A pull to react, unmasked as noise. Rule 2. Don't check what you can't change. The screen stays dark, but the mind still pulls. Why did I look again? The question hums. Low, familiar, cutting. A name I shouldn't search. A price I can't shift. A door long closed. Each time I check, I think it'll settle something. End the ache, but it doesn't. The weight stays. Heavier, sharper, a pulse behind the ribs, naming itself numbness. I tell myself, it's just one glance, just to know, to be sure. But the knowing doesn't free. It binds. Each tap, another knot in the loop. The screen stays blank. The numbers don't move. The silence doesn't speak. I feel the cold creep. Not from what I see, but from what I keep doing. To myself. The pain isn't in their absence, or the market's fall. It's in my hand, moving when it could stop. In my choice, to keep the wound open. What's lost? Not the past, not the price. Awareness. Each check trades a moment of control for a flicker of hope blindly. The reflex whispers, maybe this time, maybe they'll answer, maybe it'll turn, but it lies. Each time is the same. A vote to stay trapped when I could withdraw. The cost isn't in the screen, it's in the quiet you trade for its light. The ground you lose to a loop that gives nothing back. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness. Cease worrying about things beyond your power." I can't change their reply, or the number, or what was, but I can change this. Not checking. Let the urge rise. Feel its pull. Let it pass. Breathing through instead of tapping. Watch the screen stay dark and see what stays. The quiet that follows isn't loss. It's ground. A place where truth lives, not in the screen, but in you. Why do I keep looking when the answer's already here? The screen holds nothing I don't already know. The void is where it clears. A screen gone dark holds more truth than its light. Rule 3. Let go of what doesn't stay. The hand clenches tight around a name, a moment, a loss. It feels like loyalty, like holding the world in place. You keep their words, their face, their absence locked in your chest, as if letting go means losing yourself or admitting defeat. But the grip doesn't save, it sinks. Each memory you replay pulls you deeper into emptiness. A weight you carry, not for them, but against yourself. You think, if I hold on, it stays real. If I keep the message, the photo, the thought, it means something. It proves you cared. But meaning isn't in the holding, it's in the choice. Each time you cling, you don't keep them. You lose awareness. The present blurs, traded for a past that doesn't answer. The pain isn't in their leaving, it's in your refusal to unhook. In your hand, still closed, still waiting for what's gone. What breaks isn't the bond, it's you. Each moment spent gripping builds a cage. Not for them, for you. The shame comes, not from their absence, but from the mirror. Seeing your hand, still tight, still hoping. The system fails. When you choose attachment over freedom, when you let what's dead rule what's alive. Seneca said, "You must let go of what you cannot control, or it will control you." Their silence, their choice, their path, none of it is yours. Detach. Open the hand. Feel the weight. Lift. Not fall. Walking away isn't defeat. It's reclaiming what's left, breathing through. The urge to hold on, the quiet that follows, isn't absence. It's ground, a space where you stand, whole, not broken. Why keep what only cuts? The past doesn't need your grip to exist. Let go isn't weakness. A hand, unclenching, carries more strength than a fist. A man once kept every letter, every word from someone gone. He read them nightly, thinking they held her. Years passed. The letters stayed, yellowed, brittle, but he didn't. His awareness faded, lost to a ritual that saved nothing. His life moved, but his heart stayed locked. Rule 4. Pause before you react. The pulse spikes. A message unread. A price drops. A silence stings. The hand twitches, ready to reply, to sell, to fill the gap. Reacting feels right, like seizing control, like proving you're alive, like pushing back against the pain. But each move digs the hole deeper. Not in the world, in you. Impulse drives, fast, relentless. You know it's too quick, yet you follow. A word sent in anger, a trade made in panic, a plea for answers that won't come. Each reaction trades awareness for noise. The pain isn't in the trigger, it's in your leap. Before you see, before you think, the reflex feels like power, but it's surrender to the moment, to the storm. What breaks? Not the moment, you. Each snap decision chips at self-command. The regret comes not from what happened, but from what you did. Unthinking, unmoored. The system fails when you let the spark rule the flame. When you trade a second of stillness for a lifetime of haste, the weight settles, heavy, sharp. naming itself loss. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have time to pause. Use it." The urge to react isn't truth. It's noise. Stop breathing through. Feel the heat. Don't feed it. Hold the line. A second of stillness outweighs 1,000 rushed mistakes. The pause isn't weakness. It's the root of power. The moment where you choose not to be pulled. Why rush when the answer waits? The pause holds more than any action. You don't have to react. The breath holds a moment reclaimed from chaos. Rule 5. Withdraw from validation traps. The room is quiet, but the need hums. To be seen, to be heard, to be enough. You bend, say yes when you mean no. You smile when the weight pulls down. You give time, words, effort. Pleasing feels like connection, like proof you matter. But each nod cuts deeper. Not into them, into you. The reflex is subtle, almost invisible. You think, if I'm good enough, kind enough, present enough, they'll value me. If I give more, they'll stay. You chase their nod, their glance, their approval. But they don't see, or they do, and it's still not enough. The invisible wound grows not from their silence, but from your chase. Each act of pleasing trades self-command for a fleeting look. The weight builds not from their dismissal, but from your own surrender. What's lost? Not their approval, your ground. Each time you bend, you blur. The shame isn't in their rejection, it's in the mirror, seeing you shrink for eyes that don't see. The system breaks when you let their gaze rule your worth. When you trade your edge for their shadow. Epictetus said, "Freedom is not secured by fulfilling desires, but by removing them." Their nod isn't your measure. Step back, say less, do less, not explaining. Feel the pull to please. Let it rise. Let it pass. Withdraw. The quiet that follows isn't rejection. It's where you stand whole, where you see you were enough all along. Why seek what you already have? Your worth doesn't wait for their eyes. You don't owe anything. A man once stood alone, refusing the crowd's applause. His silence spoke louder than their cheers. Rule 6. Observe your pain. Don't feed it. The chest tightens, a familiar ache. Their silence. The numbers fall. The empty room. You want to move, to fix, to drown it out. Chasing clarity feels like strength, like taking back what's yours. But each step into the noise pulls you deeper, not toward answers, toward isolation. Why do I run? The thought hums, low, sharp, cutting through the haze. I tell myself, if I act, it'll stop. If I call, sell, speak, the pain will lift, but it doesn't. Each move builds the cage tighter. I think I'm fighting, but I'm fleeing from the quiet, from myself. The anxiety isn't in the trigger. It's in my rush to escape it. The reflex feels like survival, but it's surrender to the noise, to the storm. What's lost? Not the moment. Awareness. Each chase trades stillness for chaos. The regret comes not from what's gone, but from what I break, running. The system fails when I let the storm steer, when I trade the quiet for a scream that changes nothing. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The urge to chase isn't freedom, it's chains. Hold the line, breathing through. Feel the pull. Don't follow. Stay still. The quiet that holds isn't surrender. It's where you see clear, where the pain becomes just a signal, not a master. Why join the noise when the answer's here? Chaos doesn't need your steps. Pain doesn't mean truth. The storm passes, a breath that holds steady. Rule 7. Stay still when chaos pulls. The noise rises, a message ignored, a market crashing, a memory sharp. You feel it, the pull to move, to answer, to fix, to chase. Chasing feels like control, like holding the world in place. But each step pulls you further from ground, from the quiet that holds when all else falls. Why do I move? The voice whispers, soft, cutting through the roar. I tell myself, if I act, it'll stop. If I speak, they'll hear. If I run, I'll catch it. But the chaos doesn't bend. Each leap deepens the isolation. I think I'm saving, but I'm sinking. The anxiety isn't in the storm. It's in my rush to join it. The reflex feels like power, but it's surrender to the noise, to the pull. What breaks? Not the world. Me. Each chase trades awareness for noise. The regret isn't in what I lose, but in what I give to the storm. The system fails when I let chaos call the shots, when I trade the quiet for a fight that changes nothing. Seneca said, "There is no calm in the storm, only in you. The urge to run isn't strength, it's weight. Hold the line, breathing through. Stay still. Feel the pull, don't answer." The quiet that holds isn't absence, it's power. A place where you stand, untouched by the roar. Why step into the noise when you can stand above it? Chaos doesn't own you. Stillness is enough. The stillness holds, a space where chaos can't reach. Rule 8. Unhook from blind hope. The mind clings to a flicker of maybe. Maybe they'll reply. Maybe the price will turn. Maybe the past will shift. Hoping blindly feels like faith, like keeping the light on. But each wish tightens the chain. Not to them, to rejection. The reflex hums. Soft, persistent, almost kind. You think, if I hope, it'll happen. If I wait, they'll see. If I believe, it'll change. But hope doesn't move what's gone. It traps. Each moment spent wishing steals awareness. The fear grows, not from their silence, but from your refusal to see. The loop spins, and you're caught in a story that promises, but never delivers. What breaks? Not the outcome, you. Each blind hope erodes self-command. The shame isn't in their absence, it's in the mirror, seeing you wait for what won't come. The system fails when you let hope steer instead of truth. When you trade the present for a dream that weighs you down, Seneca said. You cease to be hurt when you cease to hope. The urge to wish isn't strength, it's weight. Disengage. Feel the pull. Don't follow. Not chasing. Let the hope rise. Let it fade. The quiet that follows isn't loss. It's ground. A place where you see what's real, not what you wish. Why wait for what's already clear? Hope doesn't save, it delays. You can end without drama. Seneca once burned a letter, unopened, unanswered. His silence held more power than words. Rule 9. Say less than you feel. The words rise, sharp, heavy, ready to spill. A truth you need to share. A wound you need to name. You feel it, the urge to lay it bare, to make them see. Suppressing feels like hiding, like betraying yourself. But each word you speak feeds the grief. Not theirs, yours. The reflex is old, rooted in years of trying to be heard. You think, if I say it, they'll hear. If I show the pain, they'll care. If I open the door, they'll walk through. But they don't. The words fall into silence. Or worse, into judgment. Each sentence pulls you from awareness. The weight grows, not from their reply, but from your voice, given to those who don't ask. The quiet you could have held, traded for noise that changes nothing. What's lost? Not their understanding. Your ground. Each word you force blurs your edge. The shame isn't in their dismissal. It's in the mirror, seeing you pour out what should stay. The system breaks when you let feeling rule speech, when you trade your silence for their echo. Epictetus said, "Speak only when it improves the silence." The urge to say it all isn't truth. It's noise. Not explaining. Feel the pull. Don't follow. Breathing through. Say less. The quiet that holds isn't weakness. It's power. A place where your words carry weight, not waste. Why give what they won't hold? Your words don't need their echo. Detachment is a form of respect. The silence speaks louder than your heart. Rule 10, be here, not there. The quiet settles, but the mind drifts. To yesterday, to tomorrow, anywhere but here. You escape to a memory that stings, a future that scares. It feels like refuge, like finding ground. But each step away builds a cage. Not for the moment, for you. Why do I drift? The voice hums, soft, accusing, clear. I tell myself, the past holds answers. The future holds hope, but neither yields. Each leap builds anxiety, not peace. I think I'm searching, but I'm fleeing from the moment, from myself. The fear isn't in what's gone or coming. It's in my absence from now. The present, the only place I stand. What's lost? Not time, awareness. Each escape trades presence for shadows. The regret comes, not from what I can't change, but from what I miss. Here, the system breaks when I let elsewhere steal what's mine, when I trade the quiet for a noise that holds nothing. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." The urge to run isn't freedom, it's chains. Observe, breathing through, stay still, feel the pull. Don't follow, be here. The quiet that holds isn't empty, it's whole. A place where you stand, not chasing, not running, just seeing. Why run when the answer's here? The present is enough. Not doing is power too. The moment holds a truth no memory can match. Epictetus once stood before a crowd, demanding his words, his time. He turned away, not out of fear, out of choice. His silence held more weight than their noise. The silence holds a weight you choose, not imposed, not borrowed. Each rule carved a line between reaction and response, between chaos and stillness. You stand here, not to erase the pain, but to see it, to let it pass without pulling you under. A voice whispers, "Why stay still?" The world screams, "Move, chase, prove." But the rules don't bend, they anchor. Each choice to pause, to detach, to be here, builds a system that doesn't break. Not for their silence, not for your fear. The quiet you've built isn't fragility, it's strength. Silent power that holds when all else falls. The cost of running isn't just time. It's you, the awareness you trade for noise, the ground you lose to hope. These rules, they don't promise answers. They clear the need to ask. Each breath, each refusal to run, is a step toward a system that stands against loss, against regret, against the pull of what's gone. The quiet deepens. A space carved by choice. Each rule, a cut against the pull of reaction. You've stood here, not to erase the pain, but to hold it, to see it, without breaking. The world doesn't stop. It never will. But you can. A dialogue hums. Two voices in the dark. One begs, chase, fix, speak. The other answers, stay still. The first voice fades, not because it's wrong, because it's noise. The second holds, not because it's loud, because it's true. Silent power outweighs 1,000 urges unmet. These rules don't promise peace. They build it. Each pause, each detachment, each breath, a brick in a system that stands against loss, against fear, against the urge to run. You don't need their answer to know your ground. You don't need their eyes to see your worth. The quiet you hold is enough. What remains when you let go? The rules, the breathe, the awareness that you are enough. Cold peace is built, not found. The phone lies face down. No hum, no glow. The room is still. Only the breath moves. A moment held, not chased, not filled. The urge came to check, to explain, to run. It rose, sharp, familiar, pulling. But it passed, and you stayed. The weight lifts, not because the pain is gone, because you didn't follow. No message sent, no answer sought. Just silence chosen, not imposed. The quiet isn't empty, it's ground. A place where nothing pulls and everything holds. A space where the rules settle, not as chains, but as anchors. What stays when you don't react? The thought hums low, clear, unanswered. No need to answer, no need to move. The rules don't close the wound, they clear the noise around it. They don't erase the loss, they make space for what's left. Silence carries its own weight.